Up next, we have Sharon Eberhart with an artsy excerpt called Squeaker. She doesn't go to museums. She doesn't get abstract art and would never hook up with the hot guy in art history class. But now they're at the Modern Art Museum together, and her shoes are squeaking. Let's hear it for Sharon.
Squeak. Squeak. Something's going on with my shoes. It's freshman year. I'm meeting a guy from art history class at the museum to do a formal analysis. I try to walk different. I put the foot down flat, squeak, or go on the side. Squeak. Nothing works. He's up ahead. He stands out. Really, he fits in better here than in class. Tall, good haircut, nice clothes, nothing a weird color or the wrong size, because that's what was on the clearance rack. No shoes saying, look at me, squeak, doesn't fit in, squeak. He looks over at my shoes. They haven't done that before. Maybe it's a special floor, an installation, bringing awareness of sound, questioning who decides what is art and how we take it in. He sounds like our professor. I can't join him in sounding like that. I stumbled into art history thinking it would mean less reading than English, not realizing it's like a foreign language. Harder. I can learn 2 words that mean the same thing, but not all these words that sound the same but mean opposite. Like objective, subjective, perspective, impressionist, expressionist. They get jumbled up in my notes and mean nothing after. I flail for something to say. Have you been here before? I used to come with my grandma. She teaches art to people with disabilities. Is that why you know so much? Is that what you want to do? Teach? No. I was doing economics at Montana State, but I skied and partied too much. So now I just need a good GPA so my parents will keep paying. I could never teach to be so hated by so many. You? Education major. I can see that. You're serious. Your hair's come out. He reaches over and just pushes my hair behind my ear. Could I ever be that confident to just reach over and touch him? Does this mean it's a date? He walks over to a sculpture. It's like a giant paintbrush with sticks hanging off. How about this one? It's phallic. He smiles like it could be a date. I look for the label. It says it's by Louise. I don't say the last name. I've gotten in trouble before trying to say words that I know from books, only to find out that my personal way of saying them doesn't match the official. Who knew that segu was supposed to be segue and eschew, eschew. So I say, it's by a woman. That could be good. She's always going on about women's work and breaking down barriers. Good idea. You're smart. I'm in your bio section. I always see you taking notes. Could I borrow for the midterm? I'll just snap them. Not a date. He takes out his phone. I'll do this one. You can keep going. I'll catch you later. There's a giant painting, like bright red and deep blue. It's so big, it's got its own bench. Squeak. A security guard looks over. Squeak. An old couple take the bench and glare. I turn and look at what's there. A small painting. Philip Guston, white. It's abstract. No jigsaw puzzle picture forms itself. Just paint. A painting. Shapes, curves, lines like crossing out. Soft colors, like in nature, but not a fiery red sunset. It's gray and tan. A little blue-green, like faded eucalyptus leaves. Colors I might use if I were an artist. 3rd grade, the art teacher pushes in her cart of supplies. The project is masks, like Native American, and as my friends are reaching for the markers and paint in bright Roy G. Biv colors that make all our projects look exactly the same, I think someone, an artist, might do it as the Iroquois did and use colors they would. So I cut out a fox face, color in pale, brown, dark black eyes, and silvery whiskers. Find sun-faded orange construction paper to cut like a robin's feathers and tack on for decoration. It's different from everyone else's, distinctively my own. Then at parent-teacher conference time, my mom gets a note to see the art teacher who says, "I'm afraid she may be depressed. Her work is pale, small, and gray." And she shows her the mask. So I try to explain to my mom, "I had an idea." She says, "Could you just use some color next time?" Do you know how embarrassing that was to have her ask if something's going on at home? But here is a muted palette vindication, holding its own in one of the best collections in the world, our professor said. He didn't care what people thought. He painted whatever this meant to him. These shapes, they don't correspond to anything in the real world, but they must have meant something. They're not letters in English or Chinese. Or maybe if I look long enough or Google it, I could find out what they mean and read it. Or maybe I'm already reading it, talking to it, because he must have stood up for what he thought, what it meant to him, and not cared what other people thought. I imagine my art teacher or mom, "Couldn't you add a little more color? How about a different title so people know what you're trying to say?" I half laugh out loud. He's right there. "Were you here the whole time? I went all the way through and didn't see you. I guess it's hard to notice anything next to a Rothko. Is that what you're doing?" "No. This one." "Huh? I never saw it. Kind of dentist's office." "Not my dentist. I mean, they wouldn't put it here if it wasn't good." "My grandma says she wouldn't house train puppies on some of the things here." Do you know, you didn't have to ask me here just to get my bio notes. If you think I'm such a teacher, I didn't say that. It was a joke. My grandma says I could be smart if I could ever not be a smart ass. Do you want to get coffee? I have to do my formal analysis. I focus on the painting. It's subtle, abstract, revolutionary. Sometimes it takes courage to be quiet, pale, to be who you are. Take a picture. You can do it later. I'll buy coffee. My bad. Maybe. I don't want him to see my face. Oh, fuck it. You know, I'll be a teacher, not a professor, but with kids when they're little and they still have ideas, and it's important not to squelch them. Because I know not about museums and art, but what it feels like, an idea in your head before it gets on a wall. That's what makes a difference. What? Is my hair sticking up? No. I wanted to see what it felt like. They don't use people hair for paintbrushes, do they? No, it's like sable, pony. We're too coarse, too rough. Maybe we should try it sometime. Okay, thanks.